this is a super simple urban sketch, just an example of how you don't have to do a whole scene. You can just select a part of a scene. You know, these is just some roofs or roofs. You may have noticed that we've missed a bit, and that's because I forgot to press record when I originally recorded this. So it's been lurking around on the cutting room floor for a while, and I just decided I have a hole in my schedule, and I thought this might just fit in there perfectly. So forgive the fact that we haven't started in the conventional sense, but I don't think that really affects this video because it's just such a lovely, simple little drawing here. So as you can see from the reference drawing, this is just a simple roof. And what I'm doing is I'm contouring in those lines. So I'm just looking at various sections and going, what angle is that ridge line at? You know, what angle is that sort of gable end at? But I'm not being too precious. You know, these roofs are Pantile roofs, which are sort of orange tiles, and they have this really interesting corrugated pattern. And I'm just sort of drafting it in roughly. I'm putting the corrugations in the top, which you normally see, and then I'm just sort of sketching in some of the sort of Pantiles. It's a nice way of doing it. It's a visual shorthand, but I think it works quite well. One of the things that's interesting here is not all these roofs are pantiled. Some of them have the grey slate tiles on, and obviously I've gone and made that one there particularly a pantile roof. I'm not quite sure whether that's just because I'm not thinking and I'm sketching away merrily, or whether because I actually think I'll make them all pantiles. So here what I'm doing is I'm looking at that space, that gable end, and I'm thinking about how to show the texture on there. So we've obviously got some larger stone blocks, and then there's this roof area, a chimney area, that's got smaller bricks sections. So I'm not drawing every single stone. I mean, the perspective is a bit out in that gable as well. It's a bit squint, but I quite like that. So I'm making sure I just draw some of the stonework, but I'll draw a couple in a line which suggests that there is a course of stones, that they're not just random, you know. I think that's quite nice to show. I'm not really thinking too much about this. I'm just dotting a few of those in. And then when it comes to the smaller brickwork, I do want to sort of denote that that is slightly different, so I will put in some of those smaller bricks. I presume that that whole chimney was a later addition because it is bricks. It's more modern bricks at the top, so it's obviously been raised up as well over the gable for next door. But the bricks below look quite old. They're really interesting, these buildings, actually, particularly when you have this odd phasing where you have stuff that's been sort of chucked on at different times. I always love to look at old buildings and try and figure out what's happened when. Our house was built in 1903, sometime roughly around there. And I've already managed to figure out where old doors used to be that were bricked up, where there was chimneys that were removed. And it's also interesting that our house was a student house at one time. It was actually lived in by the drummer from the band Pulp. But you can see on all the doors where the old locks used to be. On every single bedroom door there was, you know, like locks put on. It's so interesting how old houses accrue character and patina as they age, and often tell stories. When we first moved into our house, I was quite horrified that in the cellar there is a strong room with a big metal door, a steel door about 1/2 inch thick. It's incredibly thick, and it looks like something off a submarine. And I thought, what the hell's going on here? Is he got something in a dungeon or something? And then I found out from a neighbour that there used to be a jeweller who lived here, and they made their own jewellery in the house. So that was obviously like a little safe room where they stored their precious jewels. But yeah, and I would have had absolutely no idea unless the neighbour who has lived here for like 40 years, who knew some of these details. But anyway, back to the drawing. As you can see, I've started in the foreground really, and I'm working from foreground to background, which is something I do more often than not with a drawing like this, particularly when things kind of stack up in that way, because you want to make sure that the stuff in the background is drawn behind the stuff in the foreground, and it just makes things a little bit easy sometimes. As you can see here, I'm continuing this sort of shorthand version of Pantiles by putting in some of these lines. So as I'm sketching these little houses, I'm really simplifying them down. You know, I'm pleasing myself where I put windows in. See, I'm putting a window in there where there isn't really a window. But it doesn't matter. It's your drawing, you can do whatever you want. So we've kind of just finished that area there. We're going to go and do the layer behind, which is where this gable end with this round oriel window is. So before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few dots in, and that just sort of represents roughly where the next gable is. And I'm putting those dots in just as a little bit of a kind of mental note for myself to say this area here. Now, if I'm not using pencil, you know, I'm not laying this out or planning it in any way, sometimes those dots are really quite useful. So just in case you're curious what my Patreon channel actually looks like, there is lots of videos, full versions of all the videos that you see on my YouTube channel. There's a lot of stuff that's been archived there that's not available on YouTube anymore. And here I've got, you know, full series, fundamental, beginner art stuff, more advanced watercolor, more advanced Linework. There's equipment reviews and chats and stuff on there. There's also here a chat section of the Patreon where you can share your artwork. There's discussions about art supplies. You can change the playback speed if you want to speed it up or slow it down. And obviously this is completely ad-free, which is one of the nicest things about it compared to YouTube, certainly nowadays. So for the cost of a couple of coffees a month, you get to see all the videos, all full length with no adverts. You can develop your style, have a play, try some new materials, try some new things, and just have fun. So check out the link in the description or in my profile. And as you can see, again, I'm not being too precious here about lines and angles particularly, and just roughly, very roughly sort of sketching things in, introducing a little skylight there that I'm not 100% sure is in the original. And then it's just a case of drafting in some of these details in the background. Now these aren't really that kind of critical really, because everything that's back there doesn't really want too much detail on it anyway. So the next stage here is what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Fude pen, which has got a really thick nib on it, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to put in some right chunky lines. Right chunky they are, and those are going to be just in the foreground area on that gable and on that roof that's just there. I just want to punch those up a little bit. Now these Fude pens, this is a Manon Sailor. They come in 45-degree nibs or 55-degree nibs. This is the 55. I don't think there's a great deal of difference really. I think you can get used to using either really. So once again, I'm adding in a little bit more line thickness, just with the Brasco Echo Sport fountain pen there. So basically I've got thick line in the foreground, and then the next layer back is a slightly thicker line around that, and then all the back is just going to be left to its own devices. Just along that roof line, and then I think that's probably going to be it for the line work. I think so anyway. I don't think I did anything else on it. So yeah, there's the painting on this, you'll love it. It's absolutely super simple. There's only a couple of colours, and it's just enough, I think. I quite like a bit of minimal painting on an urban sketch. So I can't leave this alone, can I? Stop faffing. Crack on, lad. Hey. This paint colour, I think, is a Pyrrole Orange. I think I'm using my Daniel Smith paints here. I believe so anyway. So straight away, I'm just introducing it in a really quick, super fast way. I am not being fussy. I am not being delicate. I want to be intentionally splashy. You can see now that that's had a hair dry because it's lost a lot of that punch. It's gone a bit softer, but you can actually see it's still quite puddly, which I quite like. There's a few hard edges there. So what I'm doing is I'm going in with a slightly more pigmented wash again, and I'm adding in some lines on the areas there, and that shows the corrugation. I think it really gives a sense of the corrugation. It works really well. I love it. Again, I'm not being too fussy. I'm just being quite quick with the little mop brush there. I'm not that fussed about, you know, accurate details or anything like that. So once again, that's had a little hairbrush, not a hairbrush, a hairdry, and then I'm coming in and I'm going to be adding in some other details. We've got this shadow on the gable here. I want to try and incorporate just a few shadows into this. I don't necessarily want to be doing lots of details of like the brickwork. I just want to put in some shadow details. So here I've mixed up a little bit of the Pyrrole Scarlet. With a little bit of Van Dyke Brown, and that's given me this almost like purpley kind of colour. And I love it because it feels quite sympathetic with the rest of the drawing, really. I'm adding a little bit of shadow just there at the top of that ridge line. And you don't have to do a lot. It's really just you're sort of suggesting. That's all you're doing is you're sort of hinting. So I hope you like that little drawing. It's a very cute little urban sketch. It's very staithed somehow. I think it also shows that you can just focus on one element of colour, you know, just focus on the pantiles and a little bit of shadow. You don't have to do a lot more. You can keep it super simple. So if you enjoyed that, do check out my other videos. Please like, subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.